Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, a few minutes late here. I was in the restroom. So sometimes nature calls a little earlier than usual, and I was like, you know what? Well, might as well get it out of the way now, and then we won't have to take a lengthy break at the end of pre-stream, right? So that's a good thing. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. First of all, for all of you who are Americans like me, I hope that you had a happy Thanksgiving yesterday. I hope that you had a day full of fun, family, good times, lots of food, all right? I also hope that you stayed healthy, because this year, that's more important than anything else. All of us staying healthy and not spreading the goddamn coronavirus, all right? So, I hope you guys are good, all right? But now, Thanksgiving is over, all right? The turkey has been digested. The potatoes have been pooped out. We're good to go. We're ready to move on and get to Christmas. That is right, folks, because right around the corner, it is Christmas time. In fact, if you can't believe it, not even a month until Christmas. Holy shit. It's the big push. And this time of year, it's let me put it this way, it's different for me, because sometimes this time of year is when all the games have kind of dried out, and this is the time of year when it's time to kind of sit back and relax a little bit and just kind of ride out the end of the year. But that's not the case this year. In 2020, things have been so weird, okay, that we have a ginormous amount of high-profile games that have come out in a short period of time. And because of this, I'm currently in the midst of 5 ongoing narrative playthroughs, plus I'm still playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. So, technically 6 games, although you can argue that Black Ops multiplayer I just wedge in whenever I want to. But, just think of it. Spider-Man Miles Morales, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Bugsnax, Demon's Souls, and Yakuza 7. Alright? That's a lot of games. And, ladies and gentlemen, right around the corner in 2 weeks, actually a little less than 2 weeks, the release of Cyberpunk 2077, if it actually comes out, which everyone is still kind of, we're all kind of wondering, will it actually come out or not? Right? Because, sadly, we can't really depend on it anymore, because it's been delayed so many times. But the point I'm making is, this year is an unprecedented year for many different reasons, but for those of us who are gamers, it's great. There's so much going on right now in the realm of gaming, alright? And it's a super duper fun time. Everyone's playing a game that they like. And the thing is, I'm even backlogged. Like, I would like to play the new Sackboy platformer on PS5. I would like to play Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. But I'm not even going to get around to them in any reasonable amount of time because I'm in the midst of so many lengthy playthroughs. So, the variety continues here on the streams. Alright? Hope you guys are excited for what's going to hopefully be a super duper fun month leading up to Christmas, okay? Some of the festivities that I have planned, well, what you're going to see, guys, is today things are a little different. In fact, hold on a second, because I'm not sure if this is set up yet, so bear with me. Alright, it is. My Christmas decorations are in full swing this year. The lighting's off. I have to change the lighting, but my Christmas decorations are now in full swing, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, this year things are a little different, okay? Instead of having the love seat with lights and everything, we've got a bunch of stuff behind me similar to how we did with Halloween. So to my left, we've got beautiful Christmas poinsettias. They're not real, by the way. They're fake flowers. And then to the right, oh, you look at that. We got a Christmas animation for cheers now that'll pop up whenever someone cheers. Okay? And to my right, we have a variety of stuff. Okay? We've got a golden deer with a wreath around its neck. We've got a nutcracker, which, you know, a nutcracker with a fully functional mouth, so you can swear at games with me, okay? This nice tree. Actually, we found many different Christmas trees out there, and we found this one that's like, I don't even know what it is. It kind of feels like one of those brushes that's used to clean a bottle, but it looked really nice with the gradient. And then, of course, the return of Cookie the Christmas Pooch, who is over here, all right? So, we didn't hang anything behind me this year, Because what was the point? Look, the view is very different. Remember, last year and previous years, the camera was much higher up because the sofa was higher up from the ground. But this year, because of the situation and the seating that I got, we changed it up a little bit. So completely different kind of situation here. I changed the overlay to be red. And the pop-up messages, you know, the cheering messages will be themed to Christmas. Okay? So this will stick around for about a month. Maybe I'll even leave it a little bit longer after Christmas just to kind of celebrate, because I'm huge into the holidays. In fact, our house is nicely decorated. Last night for Thanksgiving, we were listening to Christmas music all night. Oh man, it was great. I love this time of year. Absolutely love this time of year. Okay, so anyway, these are some of the changes that I have in effect for this month. Okay, now also keep in mind something. There's going to be an actual Christmas event coming up right before Christmas. Now I haven't looked at the dates yet. I'll look at that soon. All right, but I haven't looked at the dates yet. But there's going to be a marathon, a Christmas marathon coming up. And actually, I'm looking like maybe I can move this a little bit to the right. That's actually better. You can see it better now. Yeah, so there's going to be a Christmas marathon or Christmas themed marathon right before Christmas, whether it's Christmas Eve or the day before or around that time frame. It's going to be that final probably weekend right before Christmas or whatever. And during that marathon, we're going to do a variety of stuff, including fun multiplayer games like Call of Duty and Fall Guys. But also there's going to be other games you guys are going to be able to nominate and vote on. Now, I haven't set that up yet, but there will be a process by which you can nominate and vote on games for the Christmas event soon. All right? Probably over the course of this coming weekend, I'll have a chance to sit down one of these nights and set up that process. Fair enough? Also, one other thing. You can't see it, but I have my Christmas hat right here. All right? Now, the cool thing about this, you guys always saying we want better rewards and perks for contributions. Okay? The cool thing about this is I put on my headphones. I can kind of wear it. Not really, but I can kind of try to wear it on the headphones. It doesn't look great, but obviously, like, I definitely can't wear the cowboy hat with the headphones on, but I could kind of at least wear this. As stupid as it looks, I can kind of wear this, okay? So there you go. I know it looks awful. There's not much you can do about it. With headphones, you can't really put much on your head. But I'm just saying, people are always like, oh, why can't you put on a hat? Or I can't. Wearing headphones. In this case, I could kind of position that on my head. All right. So anyway, there you go. That's the cool holiday festivities that I have in store for you for the next month. Okay? And in fact, one thing that I want to do before we close this now. Here we go. Oh, shit. I clicked the wrong thing. So, okay. There we go. Let's test it. You guys ready? No! Okay, it worked. All right, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the setup I've got for the next month or so. Like I said, maybe I'll even leave it a little bit longer after Christmas, depending on, you know, how festive we're feeling. But pretty cool setup this year. Different. I like that this year things are very different. You know, this has been a very great year. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch my Thanksgiving special vlog from yesterday. It's about a 90-minute vlog. And in it, I explained to you, all right, how crazy different this year was for me. It was a very different year for me. And in many good ways. Even though maybe there's a little annoying things here or there, it was pretty damn cool this year. Very positive compared to previous years. And the future looks bright. Let's put it that way. The future is looking bright. So I certainly hope that you guys will check that out. If you did not see it, it is live on DSPGaming. Okay? But yeah, you know, things are good. And I'm looking forward to this next month of streams. Again, so different that we're going to be playing all new release games, including another major release with Cyberpunk in just a week and a half. Crazy. We're going to be PS5 out the butt. Lots of fun, guys. All right? So, I'm excited. I hope that you guys are excited as well. Speaking of which, let's talk about what the streams are going to be. All right? let's talk about it. So first of all, folks, today I am doing a full day of gameplay streaming. I'm back, even though yesterday was a holiday and I took time to celebrate with my family. And I'll talk about that in a moment because I'm sure you guys are going to say, well, what did you do on Thanksgiving and blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you in a minute. Today, we're going to be doing some fun stuff. We start off with the game that is obviously the most festive holiday-themed game ever made, Demon's Souls on the PlayStation 5. I mean, the first thing I think of when I boot up Demon's Souls is Christmas, right? Who doesn't think of that? So anyway, Demon's Souls continuing today. I've gotten to stage 4-2, and I've gotten through the whole stage, but the annoying old hero boss or whatever has kicked my butt a couple times. I got close to beating him, but he kicked my butt, so I'm going to give it another shot today. Basically, the only way to beat this fucking stage is to rush through it. It was the same thing in the original playthrough, I remember. The stage is so annoying. You basically got to run through it like an asshole in order to fucking beat it, okay? So, that's going to be the main gameplay stream today, trying to beat 4-2, defeating this old hero boss, then probably going to the other second stages, trying to beat those bosses and going from there, okay? Then, on the late stream tonight, it's the continuation of Bugsnax, and we are getting very close to the end of Bugsnax. From all reports, if you just beat the story of Bugsnax, it's around 10 hours long. If you actually try to catch all the Bugsnax, it could take upwards of 15 hours. The playthrough at this point is, I believe, I want to say 8 to 9 hours long. And we're in the end game. We basically just did Boiling Beach or whatever it was called. And now we moved into the Simmering Sands, which is a desert area. And then after that, there's one more new area, some mountaintop peak. And then after that, that's it, because you've recruited all the people back to town. And I think then it's the finale of the game. So all of our questions that we've had over the course of playing Bugsnax for the last 2 years will be answered, I hope. 2 years. 2 weeks is what I meant to say. The last 2 weeks. Hopefully they'll all be answered. Alright? But tonight, will we actually beat the game? I don't know. We're going to see what happens later tonight. Okay? It might be that I do really well and we actually beat it tonight. Or it might be that I take my time and I'm trying to catch all the Bugsnax and we will not finish it. Okay? We'll find out. Alright? So that is tonight. Tomorrow, it's a major stream of Spider-Man and Miles Morales on the main gameplay stream. And I had a lot of fun playing Spider-Man last time around when I played it. It was super duper fun. Going around the city, the graphics in particular are incredibly good. But seeing the story develop and, you know, unlocking abilities for Miles and everything, the game is growing on me. Like at first when I played it, the first hour, I was like, oh man, I'm not really impressed. Now that I play more of it, I'm actually having fun with it and liking it more. So I'm actually looking forward to this as the main gameplay stream tomorrow, okay? Okay. Alright, then tomorrow night, Saturday night, it will be Yakuza 7. Alright, continuing on. Another stream of that. And it looks like we're going to be heading into a brand new chapter because I believe we just finished chapter 4. So we'll be heading into chapter 5. I don't know if we're going to get our new final party member yet because I know the game has a party of 4 people. So I don't know if that person is going to be recruited anytime soon or not. I guess we'll find out. But that's tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, it will be Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the main gameplay stream. And then Sunday night, more Bugsnax. And that may actually be the conclusion of Bugsnax. If I don't beat it tonight, then likely it'll be Sunday night. And that's another playthrough that will be completed. Okay? Then on Monday, I've kind of left it open, but likely it's going to be more Demon's Souls on Monday. And then Monday night, I've also left open. Alright? And I'm thinking, if we haven't beaten Bugsnax for some reason, if it's unfinished and we need extra time, that'll be Monday night. And if not, then probably it'll be a night stream of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. Now, I have a huge positive update for all of you who've been watching my Black Ops coverage recently. And you've been seeing that when I've been playing the game, I've been having a ton of problems. Alright? So allow me to elaborate. When I've been playing Black Ops Cold War, my right thumbstick has constantly been going off and doing either repeated melee attacks or making me crouch and stand up constantly in the middle of firing. This is incredibly annoying. It makes me lose my shot and die a million times. In a competitive multiplayer game, this is unacceptable. So I've been trying to figure out what the hell the problem is. I tried adjusting the settings on my right thumbstick. Hell, A fan even donated a second controller, a second DualSense, to see if this would fix it. Okay? Nothing fixed it. So then, I was on when was it? Wednesday. Well, actually yesterday. I was playing this game, and I'm really racking my brain at this point. What is causing this? How can I fix it? And someone made a great suggestion. They said, well, Phil, you got to think about what is the difference between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Because you played this for 3.5 hours on PlayStation 4 on launch day, and you didn't have any problems. So it's obvious there's something that's changed between PS4 and PS5, and that's what's causing this issue. So I said, well, it could be many things. It could be they reprogrammed the game for PS5, and there's a glitch, right? The actual software. If that's the case, I can't fix it, right? The other thing was, all right, maybe it's actually the controller. Well, if that's the case, I can't fix it either because I have two of them. They both do it. So obviously, if it's the design of the controller, there's nothing I can do about it. All right? So then finally, the one thing that I hadn't tried, I was like, what is the major component that was added to PS5 that really everyone's talking about? Well, loading times and graphics improvements, obviously. But the other thing is the haptic feedback of the controller. All right? If you've been playing PlayStation 5 like me, you know it's an interesting and different experience playing certain games on PS5 because of the haptic feedback. For example, in Call of Duty, whenever you're using a different gun, the triggers actually have resistance to them now. Instead of just being a smooth click, you actually feel resistance in the trigger as if you're trying to pull the trigger of a real gun. Not that it's realistic, it's not. But it at least has an added feature. But also, the controller is constantly vibrating when you're firing a weapon. Okay? So, thinking about this, someone suggested, why not just try disable all that shit and see what happens? Fine. So I did. And after I did that, in the next hour of gameplay that I did yesterday, I only got an accidental crouch once, and then I switched it back from tactical to regular, and I got one accidental melee attack. So I went from getting each match 10 to 12 accidental things to one in an hour. Obviously, we know what the problem is, all right? Now, you might say, well, why is it that not everyone's having this issue? Well, it could be a few things, okay? But my assumption or guess here is that I have very large thumbs. I have what's called the Silvano family thumb. My grandfather's name was Silvano. And basically, my thumb is about 50% wider than most people I know. My mom has the same thumb as me. My dad has a skinny regular thumb. But my thumb is thick. And what I'm thinking is, because of the haptic feedback on these controllers, the added vibration creates added pressure. Even though I'm not clicking the thumbstick, because I'm not. It's not clicking inwards. They made the controller too sensitive, unlike the PS4 controller. And therefore, because the haptic feedback causes all of this vibration, and because my thumb is bigger, the controller is thinking I'm trying to click when I'm not. And it's accidentally giving me all these inputs. So I turn off the haptic feedback and boom, it stops happening. And I was like, wow. Let me tell you guys, it was night and day. As soon as I turned it off, I was getting chopper gunner. I was getting crazy kill streaks. I was doing really well because the nonsense had stopped. Okay? So this is good news because this means I am now free to enjoy Black Ops Cold War without this really annoying thing going on all the time. All right? And I'm very pleased at this because it was going to be a huge issue, and now it's not going to be a huge issue. Okay? So, this is great. And this means on Monday night, if I do end up playing Black Ops Cold War as my final consecutive stream of the week, should be a really fun session and the first session in a while where we're not going to have that issue happening constantly. Okay? So, that's the streaming week. Today, Demon Souls and Bugsnax. Tomorrow, Spider-Man and Yakuza. Sunday, Assassin's Creed and more Bugsnax, possibly the conclusion of Bugsnax. And then Monday, more Demon Souls and probably some Call of Duty. Alright, guys? Now, next week will be interesting. It'll be the final week for me to continuously play these games. Okay? And the final week before Cyberpunk. Because as you guys know, when Cyberpunk comes out, likely that's going to be the game that's most requested for me to play. All right? Pretty much one of the biggest hyped games of the last few years. I know everyone's going to want to see me play the shit out of it. So, you know, that's going to be a major focus, okay? That's why I'm trying to really focus in on... You notice I made Spider-Man and I made Assassin's Creed mainstream games now, so that I could try to get further into them before we hit up Cyberpunk. See, I'm doing it on purpose, okay? Doing it on purpose. Okay, hold on one second. I've got... I can throw this out. All right. So this is all good stuff, folks. Thank you. And by the way, I would like to say this. Thank you so much for your support recently. Thank you so much for everything. You guys have been incredibly supportive on the streams recently. Since the PS5 arrived, you guys have been really super duper supportive, and attendance has been great on the streams, and everything's good. I cannot complain at all. Thank you so much for your support. Today, if you would like to contribute to the streams, you can either cheer with bits, subscribe to the channel, or tip me. All of these things help me out, and I appreciate any contributions that come in during the streams. They are not mandatory or expected. However, they are greatly appreciated because I am a crowd-funded guy. I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any partnerships. I rely on you and your support to keep things going around here, but that's also why I'm independent. I don't have any kind of allegiance to anyone or anything. I can say whatever I want. I can be honest about stuff, and that's one of the major reasons why I'm still here after 12 years, folks. So, thank you for that. Please consider contributing if you can. Yes, of course, if you tip me today, that always helps a little bit more than anything else because those tips I get immediately, although all contributions are much appreciated. If you are... we do have our usual tips goals. If I raise $50 in tips, I'll put on the gutter glasses. For $100, you guys get to pick a vest. Now, yesterday I wore the platinum vest. So all vests today would be eligible besides platinum. So that includes beige, blue, red, gray, and camouflage. All right. I'll say this. Yes, if we double the tips goal today, I'll attempt to wear the Christmas hat. I don't know how it's going to work because it can't really go on my head. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of sitting on top of the headphones. We can give it a shot. If it doesn't look, all right? If it doesn't work, is what I meant to say, then we'll eliminate it. But what can you do, right? We'll see what happens, all right? Anyway, thank you guys for all of the support so far and recently. It's been really great, and I thank you for that. As I've already stated, soon, you're going to have the ability to nominate games for the upcoming Christmas Marathon. So I'll let you know when that's available. Likely within the next few days, I will set that up. We are nearing the end of November. All right, so thank you for all the support recently, especially with subscriptions. When we hit the month of December, there will be a new subscriber goal for the month. And this month will be the return of the Retrospective event. We have not done a Retrospective event in quite a long time. What is the Retrospective event? Well, it's when you guys nominate your favorite moments from my 12 years as a content creator on the internet. You go back in time over my some 70,000, yes, that's not an exaggeration, 70,000 videos that I have released on the internet. You pick some of your favorites, and I'll go through them and see which ones, I feel are either the best or they make sense for a marathon stream. When we sit down on a marathon stream, and we watch those videos back together. In a lot of cases, these videos, I've never seen them before besides when I made them. Because I've been such a, what's the word? I've made so many videos and I've worked so much in the last 12 years. I don't go back and watch my own stuff back. I just keep making new stuff every day. You know what I'm saying? Prolific is the word I was looking for. I'm one of the most prolific content creators on the internet. And because of that, these are great opportunities for us to go back in time and reminisce, all right? In particular, this would be great because this event would take place sometime in January, so new year, time for us to kind of reflect on the past, see where we've been, and then move forward positively, okay? So, that's going to be the subscriber goal for the month of December, all right? We'll talk more about that when December actually hits, because you might be saying, all right, well, what will the subscriber goal be? I don't know. We got to see what happens here because we're at the end of November. It's very likely we may actually see a bunch of expired subs coming up, okay? Meaning people who were gifted subs last month, they expired, they don't renew them right away. If we see a giant dip in the subtotal, I don't want to overinflate what I'm thinking we can do, and then next thing you know, falls flat on its face, okay? So, that's the deal. That's coming up, and I hope you guys are excited for that, okay? Alright, so that's really it. I don't really have much else to talk about. There's no real news or anything in the realm of gaming going on right now. Nothing too big. So rather than me sitting here gabbing, I just want to do shout-outs for you guys, and let's get some conversation based upon things you guys want to talk about. Alright? So, overnight, got a couple cheers here. Fantasy Star PG cheered. He's saying Game Pass Ultimate 3-month codes are going for $19.99 for the Black Friday weekend at Target. When most of the Xbox 2021 games being cross-gen, you'll be locked in to play them when they release. I got 4 of them, but feeling the short-term pain in the wallet. That's good. Of course, I don't really need that yet because I don't have an Xbox Series X, and there's no actual knowing when we will get one. Right? According to Microsoft, which is hilarious because Sony's PlayStation 5 is by far the most sought-after thing for this Christmas. Biggest console launch in history. It's been documented. It actually is the biggest console launch in history. Sold more consoles at launch than any other console ever. Xbox is claiming they're not going to be able to restock Xbox Series X's until March. That's what they at least said last week. It's like, wait a minute, what? Why? I mean, yeah, it's in demand, but not nearly as much demand as PlayStation 5, and you're telling me you have absolutely no way to manufacture more of these things and put them out till March? Like, what are you talking about? And by the way, there's nothing to play on it right now. The only game that's Xbox exclusive is The Medium. That game was supposed to come out in December. It got delayed till January. We don't know if it's actually going to be coming out by then. In addition, if you guys have not heard, this is factually true. There have been head-to-head tests of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. And even though the Xbox Series X has better hardware inside of it, it's performing worse than the PlayStation 5. In some games, up to 20% worse. And there's news stories all over the internet that Microsoft is scrambling, trying to figure out why this is. Some of the rumors, nothing's been confirmed yet. Some of the rumors is that the dev kits for the Xbox Series X came out way later than those for PlayStation 5. So game developers were actually able to work on the PS5 versions of their games significantly longer than they were able to work on the Xbox versions of their games. And therefore, they were able to tweak them and make them run better, even though the hardware may not actually be as good as what's in the Series X. Okay? So, who knows? But, my point is, there's absolutely no reason for me to be buying up Xbox Game Pass. Right now, there are 0 Microsoft Studio games that have solid release dates, except for The Medium, which may not even come out in January at this point. You know, the other games that are coming out from Bethesda and the like are going to be cross-platform for now. There's been nothing announced that's going to be Microsoft exclusive. And I don't have a Series X anyway. So if I buy Game Pass, I'll just be sitting around on it not using it. There's no point. Okay? So, that being said, I would definitely like to get a Series X as soon as possible, but I don't know if and when it's going to be possible. And therefore, I'm not going to go crazy trying to get Game Pass or anything like that. Okay? But that sounds good. I'm glad that you were able to get a bunch of them. And yeah, the thing is, they stack. And so if he says he got how many? 4? So that's going to be a whole year of Game Pass Ultimate for $80. For $80, he essentially has gotten not only all the online service of Xbox, but all the free for Xbox games, EA Play games, and any new Microsoft games that are under first party, he should be able to get. Hypothetically, because they haven't announced any yet, right? So, that sounds like a good deal. Golden Cold Cheers says you should refer to today's holiday as the day after Thanksgiving Day and not Black Friday, so people in chat don't spam the come on brother emo. Well, that's because people are incredibly immature, incredibly racist idiots. They think it's funny. It's not. And, you know, I'm not going to cater to the nonsense that they're saying. So there you go. Golden Cold's cheered. He says, FL Gibson wants to apologize to you as well as other chatters. He's unable to be present for the formal pre-stream, but he'll be back. Around time Demon Souls gameplay begins. Well, there you go. Golden Cold cheered again. He said, I only use like half of my ham and potatoes, and my neighbor friend dropped off like 2 pounds of oven-cooked turkey. I'm going to drown in leftovers. That always happen on the aftermath of the turkey day. All right. Let's get this out of the way. What did I eat for Thanksgiving, and what did I do on Thanksgiving? The first half of the day, you guys know what I did. I was here on stream. We had turkey roulade, which was turkey wrapped, and inside this turkey was cranberries, apples, and stuffing. Okay? It was really good. The turkey was also had this coating on it of seasonings. So it was a little bit of a really cool, I don't even know how to describe it. It was almost like a Cajun seasoning on the outside, and on the inside had all these sweet flavors, plus the savoriness of the stuffing. It was crazy good. Then for sides, we had 4 cheese mac and cheese, which was American, sharp cheddar, Monterey Jack, and Asiago cheeses. Okay. Then we had sweet potato casserole, which was basically sweet potatoes with a bunch of other ingredients, namely nutmeg, cinnamon, brown sugar, etc., all mixed together. And we also had a cornbread stuffing, which was, I think, a traditional stuffing, but I would even supposed to say, I mean, I'd say stovetop stuffing. You guys ever had it? But it's mixed in with actual cornbread. So it's much denser. It's not as airy. It's a denser thing. It tasted amazing, but you could also taste the consistency of cornbread in it, which was really good. All right. Then we also had jellied cranberry sauce. Some people prefer the whole berry cranberry sauce. My wife likes the jellied a little more, so I got the jelly. And we had some rolls with butter. Sweet Hawaiian rolls with butter. Okay? So it was crazy good. And the good thing about Thanksgiving is that there's always leftovers, and we have enough food for a whole other meal later this week. We're going to be having this weekend. We'll have Thanksgiving leftovers. So that's excellent that we got another meal out of it. Also, we had a big-ass pumpkin pie. Now, I did not have any. My wife actually had a piece of pumpkin pie later on, and then she paid for it. She got a stomachache because she ate too much food. I was like, that's what happens. You know, you got to watch it. That's why I didn't eat the pumpkin pie today. I'll eat it over the week. I was like, there's no way I'm having pumpkin pie after I ate all that shit. There's no way. So there you go. It was a great feast. Now, what else did we do? No exaggeration. Immediately after eating and cleaning up, we laid down on the couch for like an hour and passed out. Then we played with Jasper for a while. Jasper was actually really rambunctious. So we put on some nice Christmas music on the TV and the home theater system. And while that was playing, we just kind of relaxed. We played with Jasper for a while. And, you know, our house is nicely decorated now for Christmas, which is really nice. We actually decorated my office here. One of the things we did last night. And then Kat, basically this was her last day off for the week. Today she has to go back to work for of course, it's Black Friday retail. Of course they're going to make her work, right? So because she wanted to go back, I was like, you know what? You didn't get to play games at all today. And today's like a big day for you to have off from work. You want to play any video games? And she's like, yeah, I actually want to play more Yakuza. I was like, well, that's fine, but you're ahead of me in both Yakuza and Assassin's Creed. So I can't actually, like, watch you play because it'll spoil the playthroughs for me. So she played for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I just kind of relaxed, and I actually took a nap and digested the food. And then after that, we just basically relaxed some more, watched some more music and stuff. You know, it was a very relaxing day. There was nothing super exciting going on or anything. But sometimes you just want that kind of a day. Okay? It was a very good day. All right? So, that was excellent. But now we're back to the grind today. So that was my Thanksgiving. It was a good one. Was it anything insanely different from usual? Not really. But it was very nice to be able to spend at least half of a day with my family rather than a full day on stream. It was very nice. So, okay. Let's see here. Jobin the Hutt cheered. And Jobin says, if you ever play Oblivion again, say thank you, kind sir, every time you get a donation with a message. All right. Well, likely I am going to play it again at some point. People have been requesting Oblivion for a while. Now that I basically told you guys I'm not going back to Morrowind. Listen, just in summation, allow me to explain my experience with Morrowind. All right. It was very fun to play it earlier this year. I enjoyed the chill streams of it that we had together. And I made decent progress in the game. I found out how to use all the systems, the commerce system, the crafting system, magic, how to basically abuse it and do infinite magic and shit. It was very fun to figure that stuff out. At the same time, that game is so outdated. You know what I mean? Like, it's so outdated. The graphics are bad. The whole systems in the game are very, very kind of... They just don't feel refined. They don't feel modernized to be fun, you know? It's a lot of that game is very tedious. And that's fine when you're doing an interactive stream. But honestly, I played it for a while, and after playing it as long as I did, to go back to it now, it feels to me like it would probably be more of a chore, and I wouldn't have as much fun. And with so many people who've been basically asking me to play Oblivion eventually, I think that if I am going to go back to the world of Elder Scrolls, that I should be Oblivion that I play next. So that would probably be the next game that I play for Elder Scrolls, and I think that we're going to put a fork in the playthrough of Morrowind and say, thanks, it was a good experience, but no, we're not going to continue with that. All right? Fair enough? Does that make sense, or is everyone upset? Are you all very upset with me that I'm not going to go back to it? Well, let's face it, people are upset with me no matter what. It doesn't. When I played it, people complained that I was playing it. You know? So, let's see. I'm trying to see what people say here. Okay. Lice for Soul says you just tipped me right now. Thank you, Lice for Soul. I didn't see that, but thank you for telling me so that way when I read your tip, I'll know it's really you. I appreciate that. A lot of people say I wasn't watching the playthrough, so it's okay. It was a boring game. All right. It was a boring-ass game. Okay. The reason I'm not talking is because I'm confused. And here's why I'm confused. So, I'm looking at my PayPal. And this morning I had a couple very minor chargebacks that I refunded. Which is fine. But now I'm looking at my PayPal. And let me check out something here. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't jive because I just got a bunch of tips, but the total on my PayPal account doesn't reflect that. It's because during this very pre-stream, I got another fucking chargeback. See, this is what I mean. I was talking about this yesterday during the Thanksgiving event. I was like, you guys don't understand how it works here with tips. It's not as streamlined and smooth as everyone makes it out to be. Just because you guys see a tip come in or I give a shout out for a tip doesn't necessarily mean I get it. There's these tips that I've been getting for months, and I keep constantly getting chargeback after chargeback, which is incredibly frustrating for me. You know, how do I know what I actually am getting that's real and what's just going to get taken back with people later? So I just got a $26 chargeback. So that makes sense, because this morning there were 2 small chargebacks. I said, okay, fine, refund those, get them out of here. And now I get a $26 one during the stream. I'm like, why does my total look so low when I just got these tips? Oh, that's why. I just got a fucking big chargeback that negated it. That's why. So, anyway, yeah, for people who are stupid and they try to count and nickel and dime every single dollar that I make on a stream, please understand they don't know what the fuck they're doing because they don't understand PayPal fees. They don't understand chargebacks. They don't understand anything. All they know is a gross number that comes in. And quite frankly, I make much less than what you guys see or hear about me making on a stream because a lot of that ends up being on the back end taken back. Okay? Very annoying. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on with the shout-outs. Anyway, let's see here. Job in the Hut, no. He's asking about stupid stuff like, if someone donates a game, do you add that to the tip skull? No. First of all, I almost rarely ever get anything donated. Alright? It's a very big, rare occurrence when that happens. Alright? To get something donated on a stream. Almost never. When it does happen, usually it's something that someone will contact me about. And we can make arrangements for it behind the scenes. So, for example, the DualSense controller that a fan donated to me over the course of the last week to see if that would solve my problem with Call of Duty. I'm very appreciative to the fan that did that because even though the issue with Call of Duty was something different that we've now solved, having an extra controller is a great asset. Because if I use one all the time and it gets worn out, now I'll have a backup, you see? Versus having to, oh, God, it broke, and now I have to use a broken controller today before I can make it to a store to buy another one or whatever. You see, it's a huge thing. It's a very positive thing, and I appreciate that the fan donated that controller. Now, that being said, when the controller showed up on Monday, should I have stopped my stream and said, oh, I got Amazon confirmation delivery, that the estimated value of that controller is $69, so let's add that to the tip skull? No, that's stupid. Doesn't even make sense. Anyway, Retro Jim did 100-bit cheers at OMG Christmas. Thank you, Retro Jim. And actually, that's the biggest cheers so far today. So let's get Retro Jim up on the leaderboard. 100 bits. Thank you. Junior Mint cheered, and he said, stop ignoring my cheers. It's annoying when I write stuff from the heart and you ignore it. When was I ignoring your cheers? I don't even know what you're talking about. I honestly have no idea what he's talking about. Okay, Jam the Hutt now calls me greedy, so because of that, you can go fuck off. Merry Christmas. Enjoy Christmas on the island of misfit toys, motherfucker. You're out of here. Very nice. Technical 2070 just tipped me $5 and says, you should maybe add some red and green Christmas lights. You could play games in the dark with the lights on. Actually, Technical, the past few years, I actually have had Christmas lights, and there's a very good reason I don't have them this year. My camera doesn't pick them up very well. Even though I've had red and green lights, and then one year I actually have blue and white lights, the camera just makes them all look white. No matter what, they just look white. Because of the light source being so much brighter than everything else on camera, it just oversaturates. So, even though I've actually actively decorated my office nicely the last 3 years for Christmas, you basically haven't been able to see the lights well at all. So this year we opted for no lights. We said, in fact, let me show you. Let me see how this looks. Here's how it looks, see? Without lights, now, things like this golden foil on the poinsettias, the actual garland, the golden garland we have over here amidst all these other decorations, stands out. If there were lights, like all you would see is a bunch of white blaring lights behind me and nothing else would stand out because it would kind of make it, you see what I mean? It would draw all attention to the lights, and it ended up being annoying. Like, I really liked having the lights, but they never really filmed well. So that's why we opted this year to not do the lights. Okay? Okay. Anyway, thank you, Tentacle. First tip of the day, $5. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the support. Baldy has resubscribed for 17 months in a row and says 17 months, shout out to Rattybag and Equilibrium. Well, there you go. Thank you, Baldy, for the support, and shout out to Rattybag and Equilibrium, who are going to ask for the shout outs if I didn't give it to them now. Junior Mint Cheers says, how do you think your gout, do you think your gout made your thumb wider? Yes. If you're not aware, if you have a high uric acid content, it actually makes specifically your thumbs grow. Yes, this is scientifically fact that gout makes your thumbs swell up and become ginormous in size. Your thumb actually becomes bigger than your arm. So you can use your thumbs to slap around and like, it's really cool. Like, they'll do is they'll purposely give themselves gout by having a lot of things that raise your uric acid levels. And then they'll actually get into thumb wrestling fights. And they just like completely decimate people, smack them down with their giant thumbs. What the fuck are you talking about? No, he's stupid. Oh my god. Anyway, Knight in the DSP Army cheers. Are you going to start a fund to get thumb surgery? Yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this giant fundraiser. It's going to be ongoing for about a month or two. All right. We're going to have a giant goal, probably like maybe $15,000 to get this thumb surgery to reduce the size of my thumbs so that I don't accidentally click R3 when I play Call of Duty. Then, when I actually hit the goal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheap out, and I'm going to see a doctor who's going to do it under the table for $500, and I'm going to spend the rest of the money to get a pickup truck. Or how the meme goes, because I actually don't know the true meme, but someone told me I think that's the meme, right? At some point, that's what someone said. I don't know. It could be wrong. I don't know if that's the actual meme or not, but there you go. That's what I was told in my stream. Oh, it was a Mustang? Oh, okay. I thought it was a pickup truck. I got it wrong. Is that... Oh, so that's where the rebuilt Mustang meme comes from. Okay. I thought that it was a pickup truck. That's what I thought I was told at the time, that he bought a brand new pickup truck with the money. But apparently, no, I'm wrong. It's a Mustang. Okay. Alrighty then. Continuing on. Retro Jim Cheers says, I'd rather you skip Cyberpunk. Wow. Yes, now he wants me to skip it. The leaks look disappointing. Let's hope that day one patch is good. It's this simple, all right? When it comes to Cyberpunk, all right, I am not having the insano expectations that most people are having, all right? I said this before. Witcher 3 was an outstanding game. In fact, some people would argue it's the best RPG of the generation, all right? That's kind of hard to argue with the amount of graphics, with the amazing level of the graphics, the amount of open world content, the very meaningful side quests, the excellent writing, voice acting. The only thing I didn't like about the game was the combat, but that's my subjective personal preference. A lot of people liked it. So, for me, it's one of the best games of a long time, okay? But, that's Witcher 3. That was not Witcher 1, that was not Witcher 2, that was Witcher 3. It took them 3 games to get to a game that was that level, all right? Cyberpunk 2077 is not the 2077th game in the Cyberpunk series, it's the first. People seem to overestimate, I think, this game's gonna be. You have to understand that they're doing a first-person, futuristic, steampunk, cyborg RPG style shit for the very first time, and this game very well may have issues, it may have bugs, it may not be as much content or as meaningful content as Witcher was. I'll be honest with you guys, personally, I would prefer a more fantasy medieval setting to a futuristic setting like this. I'm just saying, I actually like that better. So I think there's going to be many reasons why I think people have been very severely overestimating what Cyberpunk is going to be. By the way, I'm not saying that it's going to be a bad game. Okay? But what I'm saying is, I really feel people are going to get this game and be like, oh man, it's not the best game ever, man. We were promised. No, you weren't promised that. You gave that game that level of expectation for some reason. I don't know why. I'm definitely going into it, I feel, with more reasonable expectations. Okay? And because of that, I'm curious, will I judge the game less harshly than others? Will there be people that, just slam the fuck out of the game? Or will people be more reasonable? I don't know. But we're going to find out when it comes out, alright? I am excited for it, and I do hope that it ends up being a great game. But we're going to see what happens in a week and a half. Alright, guys? Alright. Okay, Angelo Bestia Cheers says, Microsoft's been dropping the ball for years. Their last major victory was the 360 launch. At the end of that console generation, PS3 had outdone them in sales. PS4 blew the X-Bone out of the water. Sony's leaving them in dust with the PS5. Microsoft needs to step it up. You're right. It was incredible to me that Xbox 360 was so ahead of its time and actually had so many things over the PS3. It was cheaper. It had voice chat that actually sounded good with peripherals that easily synced with the console, no problem, because it didn't use shitty Bluetooth. Instead, it was using some standard wireless technology that actually worked. It had Xbox Live's communication system and party system, which was outstanding, and it had achievements. So it had a ton of things on the PS3. The one thing it didn't have, HD movies, because Xbox went with the HD DVD drive, which failed miserably, and within a year, basically the thing was obsolete. But outside of that, playing Blu-ray movies, it was a far superior console than PlayStation 3. But after many years, PlayStation 3 added all those features, right? They did. They ended up having improved voice chat. They ended up having a party system that worked, trophies. So once they added all those things, it basically became equivalent with the Xbox 360. Now you had a console that had excellent console exclusive games, right? There were excellent exclusives on the PlayStation 3, plus all the features that you could get on 360, plus you could watch Blu-ray movies. So by the end of that console generation, the PS3 caught up completely with Xbox 360. All right? Next console gen, not so much. If you didn't pay attention, Microsoft was so embarrassed at the launch of the Xbox One, they didn't even report sales numbers. Yeah, for the longest time, they refused to actually report concrete sales numbers of the console because they were so selling underwhelmingly compared to the PlayStation 4. Now over time, eventually they did, and now we know, yeah, Xbox One didn't sell nearly as well as the PlayStation 4 over this last console generation, okay? So Microsoft, in my opinion, has worked hard to set themselves up in a good position this next console gen. Xbox Game Pass, which allows you to get a large variety of games and a library of games essentially for free as long as you're paying a subscription-based service, right? Then you've got EA Play, which then adds a ton of EA games to that service. Now they've bought out Bethesda, which means there's likely going to be timed exclusivity on a lot of upcoming Bethesda games. And they arguably, on paper, put better hardware inside the Xbox Series X than has it in a PS5. So they were set up for success, but at least for these first 2 weeks, they have fallen flat on their face with actual console performance. Now, this is only the first 2 weeks. It's very possible long term. Maybe Microsoft can get these issues hashed out, and or whatever reason it is that the console's not performing as well as PS5 graphics-wise, maybe they'll fix it and then it'll be better. I don't know. But definitely, it's an interesting situation. I'm curious to see how this unfolds. Okay? Bill Wilson, tip me $2, says, thanks for saying what a lot of people believe on Twitter. Politicians on Twitch is absolute nonsense, and it's ruining the platform as a whole, in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this at length at all right? Because I'm not a political guy. You know that. However, Twitch is a place where people can live stream whatever they want. It used to be just games. Then they changed their formula and said, oh, we want to live stream whatever you want. I welcome anyone who wants to stream on Twitch. You want to stream on Twitch, that's fine. All right? But, in the United States, we have this problem. We treat our politicians, our elected public servants, people who are supposed to be political officials making decisions that will form our lives in this country. We treat them like celebrities. We idolize them. We have big front page tabloid news stories about them. On TV, we treat them like they're celebrities. This is wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be in a political system. All right? These people are supposed to be making critical decisions that are going to change our lives supposedly for the better. They're supposed to be acting in our interest. All right? We have to understand this. This is what they're supposed to be doing. All right? Sitting on fucking Twitch doing a gameplay stream is not benefiting any of us. I don't care what the fucking stupid spin is that they it's really going to open awareness of the political system. Really, you playing Among Us is going to make people watching you on Twitch understand the political system. Fuck you. No, that's not what's going to happen. What it's going to do is make you a celebrity with kids, which is the whole point of doing it. All right? This is bullshit. We have a fucking president right now who's a fucking reality TV star. Why? I understand why, because people did not want a typical politician to be in power in the United States, and it was an interesting experiment to have someone who wasn't for 4 years. Some people think it went well, some people think it went horribly. I'm more middle of the road. I see there were some positives and some big negatives, and it's very interesting now to see what's going to happen with a new president. All right? But that all being said, this year, 2020, in my opinion, and you can completely disagree with me, and that's okay, our political system failed us. Our political system was not ready for a pandemic. Our political system was not ready for nationwide protests and the Black Lives Matter movement. All right? And because it wasn't ready, we all got screwed. All right? Our government is supposed to be here in a situation where if something like this happens, they can provide for us and say, okay, we understand that everyone's sick and we want you to stay home, but we're going to give you some money so you don't have to leave. They sent out one fucking check all year for, what was it, $1,200? Oh, yeah. $1,200 a year? That's perfect for me, bro. Like, what? So, the point I'm making here, okay? The point I'm making, all right, is very simple. Don't turn our public servants into celebrities. They are there to serve. We pay them to serve us. That's the whole exact public servant. All right? They're not any better than us. And they shouldn't have a whole different rule set to live by. And certainly, because a politician decides that it's more important to sit and play a video game on a stream instead of actually do their fucking job and help the American people, we shouldn't be happy about that. We should be demanding of our politicians to actually do their jobs, which they did not do this year. They did not do their jobs. They did not protect the American people from anything. They threw us to the wolves and said, figure it out for your fucking self. We don't know what to do. Oh, well. That's terrible. That's absence of government. That's absence of leadership. That's what we have in this country right now. A giant gaping hole where our leaders are supposed to be. We have a black fucking hole of nothing. So for you, one of the senators is going to stream on Twitch. Fuck that shit. I don't fucking care. Get back to fucking work. Get your ass back to fucking Washington. Sit the fuck down and write some laws that are going to help the people. I don't want to hear you playing fucking video games. That's my fucking job. It's my job to be an asshole on Twitch, not yours. Now fuck off. Okay, there you go. I said my piece. And that's all I'm going to say about politics today. Retro Jim cheered and said, did Jasper get a special treat for Thanksgiving? We had some treats already saved up. But, in fact, we gave him 2 new toys. One was a little cushy-looking ball. And then we gave him a new twisty toy to play with. And he batted both of them around the house. And within about an hour of each, they're gone. So, probably under a door, under the couch. Who knows? That's what happens with toys we give him. He plays with them for like an hour, and then they completely disappear. Until then, later on, we go cleaning, we move the couch, and we find 12 toys underneath. So, so there you go. Alright, the Villain X has resubscribed for 19 months, said, yup, thank you very much, Villain X, for the sub, I appreciate that. Liza of Soul tipped me $50. Thank you very much, Liza of Soul, for that. I really, really, really appreciate that. I'd have to verify that because you said earlier it was really you. Just sucks that the fucking chargeback pretty much negated half of it. But what can you do? That's not your fault, certainly. That's just me raging against the machine here. So he says, I'm genuinely happy, and you're happy with your life. Truly. I watched your Thanksgiving stream when I got home from work. Here's to more years. Yes, I mean, if you guys didn't see it again, I strongly recommend that you guys check out my Thanksgiving special. There was a lot of information that I relayed to you guys for the very first time. I talked about some behind-the-scenes shit for the very first time that you guys didn't know about. And, yeah, it was really meaningful to me. So I hope that you guys will check that out if you didn't. And thank you very much for that, Lice for Soul. I appreciate that. Alexander Rossi, thank you for the cheer. I already addressed it. I'm not talking about that. Angelo Bestia cheer. Said my internet went out. Did I miss you reading out my cheer? I guess so, because I read out your cheer already. But you can always watch back the you could always watch back the on-demand video on YouTube on DSPGaming later today. Excuse me. Junior Mint, thanks for the cheer. There's no way I'm reading that. It's incredibly stupid. Alexander Rossi cheered. He said, I checked out Walmart's Black Friday at 5 a.m. Wow, Black Friday is a huge waste of time. None of the deals in the store were any better than what you could find online. What's the point? There is none. The only point is instant gratification. If you buy something, you bring it home right now. You don't have to wait for the shipping. Although when there's 2-day shipping, pretty much most places, it's not that big of a deal anyway. In addition, the risk of actually going to the store is incredibly stupid. Because you know there's a bunch of idiots who are going there and not protecting themselves from COVID. So, yeah, there's really no point to doing in-person Black Friday this year at all. Sir Spartan King cheers said Bethesda's franchise super. Let's try this again. Sir Spartan King cheers said Bethesda's franchises are mostly meh. Not a game changer for me personally at all. Well, depends for me. It depends on the franchise. Doom I like, even though I didn't really like Doom Eternal as much. Elder Scrolls is a big one. I love Elder Scrolls, right? Skyrim was outstanding, my favorite game of the year. Hopefully the next one comes out within the next decade before, you know, a meteor hits the earth and we all die. But outside of that, yeah, they do have a lot of franchises under their wing. So, for me, it's hit or miss. Some are great, some aren't so great. So, Will Moses cheered. He says, if you have an extra controller, would you consider giving it away? No, that would be incredibly stupid. As I've said on the stream, it's good to have a backup controller. Because when you have a backup controller, if something goes wrong with one, you have a backup. My problem with PlayStation 4 was I didn't do that. And, well, actually, no, I take that back. I did. Oh, my God, now I remember. PlayStation 4 was a big debacle. That faulty rubber that wore out within a few months of owning the controller. And then I started using the other one, and the same thing happened with the other one. But because I had the backup, at least I didn't have to run out and buy a new controller right away. This is good, though. Especially, what I would say is, especially with the DualSense having a lot of failure possibilities with this whole haptic feedback deal, right? When the controller's constantly vibrating, wiggling around, That's a chance, more moving parts, more problems, right? So I'm happy that now I have a backup. And again, big shout out to the fan who got that for me. I really appreciate that, because now if anything goes wrong, I have something I can immediately just jump right back in rather than, oh, controller broke, guys, so I guess the stream's over. You know, that's not going to have that situation, which is good. Okay. When was the shoot again? How long did you know you had a Sylvano thumb? Well, thinking about it, when I was a kid, you know, you're with your parents and you're looking at stuff, and I used to always look at my thumb compared to my mother's thumb, and then compared to my dad's. And my thumb is wide, my mom's thumb is wide, my dad's is not. And I always asked, why is my thumb bigger like mom's and not like dad's? And I was told because it's in the family, runs in the family. It's actually a family trait. The Sylvano family line. That's what I was told. Timbo Slice cheered. He says, until we get first-party Microsoft games, we can't judge the power of the system. It's up to third-party devs to optimize games correctly. These third-party games at launch were built for last gen. I mean, this is correct. Timbo Slice is correct, but I think it's just bad luck that these games that are the launch titles everyone is playing are running better on PS5. Obviously, I don't think that's what Microsoft intended. They were hoping that they were going to have the leg up and that people were going to want the Xbox Series X, but at this point, people are really wanting the PS5 over anything. It's the hot thing this Christmas for sure. The Red Gamer 7 tipped me $7 and says, I'm genuinely like a return to a Last of Us 2 to see if Phil can see it through a different lens instead of fun. You want me to see a game, the entire premise of playing which is supposed to be having fun, through a different lens than having fun. I don't know, man. I don't think my opinion on the game is going to change. I don't think anything's going to change it. Imminent 55 did a 400-bit cheer. He said, I went to Walmart the other day. This guy started beating the shit out of an employee for asking him to wear a mask. It was pure chaos. Well, did other people beat the shit out of the guy? I feel around here, you know, I hate to say it, around here we're super duper liberal. Super duper, like way left. And I personally don't agree with that. I'm middle of the road, as you guys know. I definitely agree with certain things left and certain things right. And if someone just started beating someone up in the middle of the store like that, I feel like a giant crowd of people would jump on them and kick the shit out of them. Because they're not going to put up with that shit here. They're like, nah, I don't think so, dickhead. People say it was staged. Oh, really? Well, who knows? Anyway, thank you for the cheer, Infinite. Biggest cheer of the day, 400 bits. Thank you for that. Frog Detective cheered and said a bunch of stupid shit. I'm definitely not reading that. It's disgusting. Jetro's Main cheered. He said, you know that a kitten shits every time you say behind the scenes. I'm well aware. And someone needs to keep them on the regular. Retro Jim cheered and said, did your thumb make it difficult to be successful in the competitive fighting game scene back in the day? Surprisingly enough, you don't use your thumb that much in old school joysticks. You just don't. Do I use it every once in a while? Yes, but usually when you're using your hand, the size of your thumb will not affect the movement of the joystick at all. And it's usually your four fingers, not the thumb, but your four, fingers that you use to press the buttons on an arcade cabinet or on a joystick. So every once in a while it would be an issue. In fact, I can tell you definitively once, there was a time when it very negatively affected me. And this time was about 8 years ago. Excuse me. I was a content creator. I was a full-time YouTuber at the time. Okay? And I was covering the release of Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I was at the time traveling to actual tournaments. Yes, I actually used to travel to tournaments back when, number one, they existed. And number two, when, I was actually into fighting games that heavily for my content. Okay? All right. All right, so now Frog Detective is so disgusting that he just earned himself a timeout because I'm not going to put up with this shit anymore. I'm just not. He's fucking gross. But I can't get my laptop to work, so he has a few more seconds to survive here. Okay, now he's timed out. All right, so anyway. What was I saying? Okay, 8 years ago, when I was still into competitive Street Fighter, before I basically retired and said, fuck this shit, I just want to be a content creator. I somehow managed to really hurt my neck badly I could remember that morning I was standing in my doorway of my bathroom and I was stretching and I was, moving my neck around and cracking my neck because I had just woken up and I was stiff. And as I was doing this, I managed to pinch a nerve in my neck so badly that I had intense shooting pain from my neck throughout my right shoulder all the way down the back of my arm, all the way into my right thumb. And it was so bad. I damaged this nerve so badly just by stretching and moving my neck. I lost all feeling in my thumb for about 2.5 months. I really tried my best to rehabilitate it. Nothing worked. And the problem was, within that week of me doing that, I had to travel to go to a tournament. And this tournament was final round? There was no. The first tournament was, let me think about this. The first tournament was Winter Brawl. It was in Philadelphia. And that was a tournament where I was expecting to do good. I'd been practicing a lot in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I couldn't feel my thumb. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, typically in games, I wouldn't use my thumb fighting games. But for Marvel 3, I actually did. There were certain combos that I would do with Sentinel, where you would do like a fly, unfly combo, and you would launch with the thumb, would hit the launcher button, so you could fly into your air combo. I couldn't feel my thumb, so I couldn't tell if I was pressing the launcher button or not. And I was playing this game, and I couldn't even tell. Like I think I was fighting Sanford Kelly actually in the tournament, and I'm fighting him, and my combos are dropping constantly. And Sanford even said to me during the match, he said, "Are you all right? What's going on?" And I said, "Dude, I can't feel my thumb." So I forfeit, and I actually forfeit the entire tournament. I couldn't play because I couldn't feel my thumb at all. And that actually sucked because not only was that Winter Brawl, but then there was Final Round. That was another tournament that took place. That was like another, I want to say it was in a month. And I had already bought tickets and everything to go to it. I went to it, and I couldn't play there either. And that was the tournament where I literally said, I forfeit everything. I can't play. And I sat in my hotel room the entire tournament playing Dragon Age Origins. Or was it Dragon Age 2? It was Dragon Age 2. Because that was when Dragon Age 2 was a new game. And I just sat in my fucking hotel room recording Dragon Age. And watched some gameplay. I actually went down, and during certain tournaments, I was watching people play at a high level, and it was very entertaining to do that in person. But it just sucked. Like, that injury threw me out of multiple tournaments, and at that time, that was very frustrating for me, because I was trying to cover these games at a high level, and I couldn't. And because of that, I basically didn't really cover fighting games anymore. Like, I remember it took upwards of 4 months for the thumb to actually get feeling back in it after hurting it so badly. And by the time that the feeling came back, I'd missed out on so much, I just didn't really care anymore. So, there you go. Junior Mint says, is it hard to press numbers on my phone? It's actually incredibly hard to text anything or type anything on my phone. When I try to do that, I always fuck up what I'm typing on my phone. True story, because my thumbs are too wide. Junior Mint Cheers says, did the kids treat you different because of your deformed thumb? Yes. They made fun of me constantly. It was, they made fun. They call me big, what do they call me? Big, I don't know. Anyway, 007-1996 did 100-bit cheers, said, hi, this is my first time on a stream. Well, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I hope you have a good time on today's stream. Gameplay will start shortly. Frog Detective cheered again and said something really stupid, and now he's timed out. Angelo Besha cheered. He says, I remember you saying you never played many of the great PlayStation 2 games. Considering PS2 is arguably the greatest console of all time, have you thought about doing a PS2 retrospective where you'll play some popular games? Could be a cool event. I've never thought about a formal PS2 retrospective, no. A lot of the big games of the PS2 era I have played because they've remastered them for modern consoles over the years. Especially, they used to have a lot of collections that would come out for PS3 that I really enjoyed playing. The problem with PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games is that a lot of them just were never made publicly available to play outside of buying the physical discs and actually playing them on the original consoles. My issue is, like, I would love to play these games, but how? If they're not digital on PlayStation Network to be played on, say, PlayStation 3, then I have no access to them. And that's a big problem, I feel. I think that they should eventually do something to make their very large excess library of games accessible to more people. Xbox has done a great job of that, right? Tons of games from Xbox 360, original Xbox, they're all backwards compatible with the modern Xbox consoles. So you have access to them. You really don't have access to an entire generation or two of games, right? So that's an issue. Timbo Slice Charity says, it's gross in 2020 people can say things online with no punishment. Last Sunday, a Packer football player fumbled a ball and it cost the team the win. After the game, he started to get death threats on Twitter. In real life, you get charges against you for doing it. Online, nothing becomes of it. 1,000,000% agree with you. Considering what I go through, I hear you. Dollboth cheered and said, Frog Detective, Pepe Hands. All right, Jarlof Tilted has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Jarlof Tilted, for the sub. An anonymous gifter gifted a sub to Geekrum. Congratulations, Geekrum. Thank you to whoever that was. 007-1996 wants to, he says, I hope this is a fun stream. Is Cat better? Yes. Cat's mouth is better. Dalboth cheers to Dark Side Phil. Do women like huge thumbs? I think that's one of the dumbest questions I've ever been asked. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Also, Joski cheered and said something incredibly stupid. So now I have to time him out, too. Okay, anyway. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you to those who've cheered this week. I appreciate that very much. Thanks to everyone who contributed this week so far, but in particular, thanks to those who have cheered. In 10th place, we have Captain Caveman. In 9th place, Golden Colts. 8th place is Retro Jim. 7th place, Timbo Slice. 6th place is Tantamounter. 5th place, Lies Versal. 4th place, Infinite 55. And if you can believe it, we have a triple tie for first place between Shadow the Hedgehog, Dr. Tony Huge, and Dino CFH. That might be the first time we've ever had a triple tie for first. So thank you to those who did cheer so far this week. The week is young. We got a big weekend coming up here. Thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions this week, including Angelo Bestia, Melody Zelder, Hydrocarbon 1, Captain DCW, and Westside Rascal, who each gifted a single sub. Elon Just and Django Pops each gifted 2 subs. Thank you guys for that. Delana just hit me $1. I said, have you ever played the Onimusha games? Not ever. I've never played an Onimusha game. So I actually don't know what the Onimusha games are like or what they're about. Maybe one day, though. Right? Shit. Misclicked. Okay. Junior Mint, cheers. Did you... What? Alright, that's it. Junior Mint, you're out of here. I had enough of you. You think you're funny, you're not. So now you can get banned. And I know what's going to happen. You're going to email me and beg to come back and say, oh, I was out of line. And I swear I'll never say disgusting things on your stream ever again. And then you will anyway. So we'll see if I ever feel good enough to unban you. Maybe one day, instead of feeling like the Grinch or Scrooge, maybe I'll feel in a more jovial spirit and holly jolly, and I'll unban you. But for now, you can take that ban and sit on the island of Misfit Toys along with that other guy who I banned earlier. I forgot who it was. Okay. All right, guys. So, thank you for your support this morning. Let's actually check on subs and see how subs are doing here. We were 810 subs, so we went up a couple. That's cool. Top cheerer so far today is Infinite 55. Thank you, Infinite, for that this morning. The top tipper, obviously, is Lies Versal with a $50 tip. We're at $65 in tips, which means I'll start wearing the Gunner glasses here on the stream as soon as we start gameplay. Remember, if we hit 100, right? $100 in tips, it's vest time. And every vest is eligible but the platinum. Zoen to me, $4.20, asking if I'm going to give back the controller. No, why would I do that? That's one of the stupidest suggestions I've ever heard. The controller was donated to me, number one, to see if it could solve a problem in Call of Duty, and number two, so obviously I would have another controller to use on the streams. Why would I give back the controller, genius? Thanks for the tip, though. Incredibly stupid comment, but thanks for the tip. Dr. Tony Huge, tip me $1.30? Wait, I don't know if this is really him. I don't know if this is really him. I want to confirm if it is. Because he makes a comment, and I'm not really sure what it means yet. Let's see here. I wonder if this was really him or not. Or was it an impersonator? Was it an impersonator? It could have been. That was you? Okay, good. So he took me $1. He says, rest in peace to a 10,000 bit badge. Now, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Did you have a 10,000 bit badge and it's gone now? See, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm a little confused. So if you could elaborate, I'd be happy to respond, but I don't know what you mean by that. And no, you don't have to tip me again. You can just tag me in the chat and I'll take a look. Oh, Junior Mints. Yeah, Junior Mint's an idiot. He had a 10,000 bit cheer badge, and he now, because he got banned because he's an idiot, saying disgusting stuff on my stream this morning. I mean, it was gross. That's fucking nasty. Where do you think you are? You know? You want to go to someone else's stream where they talk about nasty, fucked up stuff like that all the time, go ahead. On my streams, it's all serious business constantly. We don't allow any kind of nonsense here. 100%. Remember, as explained on Twitter yesterday, I don't know how to tell a joke. So, since I don't know how to tell a joke, even though I've been a content creator for 12 years, everything on my stream is constant seriousness at all times. We have no levity, no hilarity, no happiness here. Just serious faces and get good gameplay. We all know that. So, let's get good and stop fucking around. Delana took me $1 and said, what was your thoughts about the Sega Dreamcast? One of the best consoles ever made. Incredibly ahead of its time. Sadly, destroyed by pirating. You know, the console itself was amazing. It had graphics that were incredibly close to what you could see in arcades at the time, which was really the first console ever that was the case. It was the first console where you could just play a home version of a game like any Street Fighter game, Soul Calibur, and it would feel like you were playing it in the arcades, so you didn't have to go to the arcade anymore. In fact, I would actually say that was the first console that led to the death of arcades when it came to competitive fighting games. It had a little memory card, and the memory card was actually a virtual pet, so it was like getting a Tomodachi for free whenever you had the console. However, the game had no copy protection, and because of that, people were able to easily rip the games off of the discs, put the ISO files on the internet, and anyone who had a disc burner could burn full copies of games for the console. All you needed was a boot disc, which bypassed the little security feature that they had on the console, and next thing you know, you're playing every single Dreamcast game for free. So people would literally buy the Dreamcast and then never buy a game, and they would have every game. So just think about that. Imagine that you buy the PlayStation 5 and you have the entire games library on PlayStation 5 for free. That's what it literally. That's what it was. I had friends who I would go to their houses and they would have a giant spool of discs. And you'd be like, "What do you want to play today?" What do you mean? Oh, I have every Dreamcast game. What game do you want to play? What? Yeah, I've never heard of this one. Here, let's try it. Oh, this game sucks. Throw that one out. We'll play a different one. That's how it was. It was completely destroyed the Dreamcast. So within a year and a half, the console was dead. In addition to that, the console did have a high failure rate. I know for a fact because I owned tons of Dreamcasts, because at the time, this is how you would run a Street Fighter tournament. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had versions on the Dreamcast that everyone played at tournament level. Therefore, you needed to own like 10 Dreamcasts if you were going to run a tournament. And I owned like 4, but they would constantly burn out. There was actually this thing, a motor or something inside of it, and that would burn out, and then you got a dead console. Now, you could repair it, but you had to mail it into some guy who over the internet would fucking... It was ridiculous. It was like underhanded shit. So, all behind the scenes, you know, kind of under the table dealings. So, yeah, it not only did the thing, no one would buy games for it, then it would break anyway if you used it a lot. But, seriously, it was a great console and had a really great variety of games that were very good quality for that time period. But way better than PlayStation 1, who at the time was their competitor. So, Retro Jim cheered and said, "Do you think Junior Mint thought you would take it as a joke?" Junior Mint said multiple disgusting things today. It wasn't like he made one joke. He kept doing it, and I kept telling him, "Stop it, I'm not reading it," and he just kept pushing it because he's an asshole. He thought that it was funny. Well, is it really funny now? Who's laughing now? Right now, all right, you're sitting between a train with square wheels, all right, and a polka dot elephant, right? So let me tell you, how do you feel right now? Alrighty then. Anyway. So people didn't get the reference. I said the Island of Misfit Toys. That's where this month when anyone gets banned, they're going to the Island of Misfit Toys. And we have to see if they're allowed back for Christmas or not. Maybe if they appeal to Santa Claus. And if Rudolph can make it through the storm. We'll see what happens. Alright, anyway. So that is it, guys. Let's take a quick break. I mean, luckily, I don't have to take a ginormous duty dump today. I just gotta pee. So let's do that. I'll be back in a minute or two. And then we're going to start it with Demon Souls. Remember, I'm trying to beat World 4 2, which I can run through the whole fucking stage, but the boss has kicked my butt a couple times. So we'll see what happens here. And then we'll move on. We'll see what's next. Okay? Fair enough? Alright, thank you. I shall see you in a few minutes. Thanks for your support so far. Alright.